Okay, so now that we have the controller set up for versioning, so that it automatically chooses the correct controller, the next step is to actually be able to get to that correct version. So one of the ways that we can do that is through using the query string. And we call this versioning with a query string. So to version with the query string, we add the version query string at the end of the URL. So it's pretty straightforward. And this also allows us to do some business rules based on whether the query string is provided. So if the version 2 is provided, then we can display version 2. If it's not, we can have some business rule to see what we want to do, which one we want to display. In this case, if it's not, we're always going to display version 1. So the first step is to go into our controller selector and get the value of vQueryString. So here's our counting case controller selector that we built earlier, and we have it in our service folder. And here we hard-coded the version 2. So instead we're going to go ahead and create a method here, and at this method we're going to get the query string value. So here we go ahead and create method get version from query string, and we send the request. So now we need to go ahead and create the actual method. So here's our method get version from query string. I just copy pasted it. We take in request, and I've done this before where we use this HTTP utility parse query string to get the actual query string value. Then we get the in our version var version equals query then v, so we get what actually is in this query string of v. If it's not null, so if it doesn't find it automatically, it will be null, which is good. If it's not null, we return the version, which is 1, 2, whatever it is. Otherwise we return 1. So very straightforward here. So let me run it really quick and just show what's going on. So here's our measure 7269, and this is the version 1 of the controller. Remember that we had less properties here. Now if you go ahead and add the query string here of the version 2, now we have the new version 2 of our data, which is more data. And one thing that we see here is that the link is not updating with the version 2, so it will take us back to the old one, and we can also fix that very simply in our model factory. So right here where this link is being generated in our create2 factory method, all we have to do is just create another v and hard code it to 2 here, because this is obviously it's always going to be creating 2. So if we build this, now we should be able to see v2 here, query string. There it is. So this is how easy it is to use query string once we actually were able to set up our controller to work with the versioning.